Welcome back to my BattleMap tutorial series. I've been making trail maps and stuff and forest maps, and a lot of times I want to add some wagon wheel tracks or basically some ruts, worn ruts to my tracks, and I just haven't taken time to do it well. So I've come up with a process where I'm comfortable with it or happy with the results, and I'd like to share that. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our path. I have a video tutorial on basically how to do paths and stuff like that. So we're going to start from there. So first we're going to create a new group. Call this Wagon Tracks. And I'm going to create a new layer in there. And we'll call this just Tracks. Okay. So first thing we want to do is we're going to go to our brush. And again, I like using scattered brushes and such for most of my maps. And you want it sort of about the width of what you would expect a wagon wheel compared relative to your trail. So again, depending upon your scale of your map, you may have this bigger and bigger. I set it to 25. Another thing also is, this is going to be much larger than my current scale, but you can add some additional detail and then just shrink it down. Most of my art assets I always try and make larger and then just shrink them down. So again, we're going to start with a scattered brush. Mine set to 25 pixels. Okay. I'm going to set my opacity to under 32 as usual, and my flow again to 30. And then I'm just going to come down here on my new layer. Make sure you're on your new layer. And just draw a line. Now sometimes you may want to grab a guide or two to sort of follow it along, and if you want it more precise, this will help. You can just go along that lines, and again, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And just go down your guide. Okay, and we'll do the same for the other side. Okay, so if we actually clear these off, you can sort of see we have some ruts going there, which look pretty good. These look a little bit too straight, so I'm actually just going to oops, what is that? Not erase, nope, wrong one. I'm going to erase that a little bit. I'm going to go back to my brush and maybe there's a rock. We'll put a rock there or something, but just give it a little bit imperfections and such. Okay, and that's for just simple wagon wheels if you want to do that, but I like to add some additional stuff in there, so I'm going to add another layer underneath there, and we'll call this water, and probably water shadow. And then what I'm going to go down here is grab one of my motors. I've actually moved it up. I'm going to grab one of these, actually duplicate that. And this is just, if you see that, this is just my standard water template that I have for my pages. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a hide mask on that. So I'm going to go to layer and layer mask and hide all. Okay. So again, we're going to go back in here, and I'm just going to go to this layer. I'm going to release some of the water. And again, I'm still on the same 25 pixels, same opacity, 20, 23, 24. Again, it doesn't have to be exactly that. It's what you're comfortable with. It just takes a little bit more work. And so again, I'm on white, and I'm now revealing the water. Okay. And this, again, you want to be imperfect. Puddles are not perfect. Nature's not perfect. And I just go through and I reveal this, and then towards the ends I'll maybe thin that, make that brush a little bit smaller as it narrows down at the end of the puddle. Okay. again, what you're comfortable with for that water. And that's just giving you the general shape of the water. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually go up to our water shadow, make sure that layer's on. And we're actually going to put a little shadow on there. Now again, keep in approximately the same pixel width, maybe shrink it down a little bit, maybe 5, 10. Actually, let's go to 10. We're just going to go along the outsides of that. Okay. And again, we're going to give it different angles. We're going along. And I'm just going along the outside of the water. You just give it a little definition, a shadow, like it's sunk down a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Probably if we zoomed in there, you wouldn't see it right perfect along the border, but there you sort of get it. And when you zoom out, there's your puddle, or at least that's the start of your puddle. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go up here now, go back to my brush. I'm going to get a solid brush this time. And I'm going to shrink that down to about 2 pixels. Right there. And then I'm just going to go along the outside of it. I find this sort of gives it a little bit more of a definition and a rim. You don't have to do this. And again, I'm not always at the outside. Sometimes I go along the inner side of the shadow. But usually I follow the outside and just give it a little bit more defining curves and angles to it. Okay, so again, just going along here. And again, if I had this flow up higher and a little opacity, I wouldn't have to make as many passes. But I like doing the gradual because every time I go over, it's not perfect. But again, it still adds, a little bit of depth. But if you're in a hurry, you can, increase those. I don't mind taking the extra time because usually I'm playing a game or something while I'm doing a lot of this, and I'm just waiting for the game to launch or the battlefield to launch, whatever, depending upon the game I'm playing. So again, just keep going around and give it to a little bit more definition. Okay, so then again, when we zoom out or when we get to 100%, there you go. And then you just repeat that process that I did with the water for over there. Now, this is good and you can drag this on there, but what you probably want to do before you actually use this is, combine these 2 layers. And what that will do is that will get rid of the big water mask in that and just create it into the one. So I can easily move that, move that around. So I could apply that over here and, just move that guy around if I keep selecting them, or I can angle him or what. I'm going to unmerge those layers for now, just because I'm probably going to be making more. And as you can see, I've made a bend here with the bend. I've got another straight angle here, and I've got another curve bend here, so I can use it for different things. And what I'll do is I'll shrink all these down. And usually my shrinking, I'm about 40 or 35 to 40%. So if I go here and 35 to 40%, you can see that's about a 5-foot width wagon wheel. And so that'll fit in the pass. And if you go like that and then zoom in, you still have some nice details from there. And that's pretty much it that you can go for. I'm going to save this, and patrons obviously will get a copy of this template in the next update, and we'll go from there. Thank you for watching. Bye.